It has been a while, but TNA Wrestling finally crossed that line again as we welcome back TNA Open Fight Night ahead of next week's Live Impact and Turning Point pay-per-view. Let's get into it, shall we? What a start. This week it said it was open fight night. So what the difference being is these matches were kind of already taped in advance, I believe. But open fight night is when anyone can face anybody. And that's exactly how it started. And it started in very fine style with Sinner and Saint versus the Rascals versus the Great Hands and versus Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards of the system. And of course, that means Alicia Edwards was out there too. And all four of these teams were trying to really gain an advantage and get a really big win to push themselves up that tag team line in TNA. And I tell you what, this was action packed, fast paced. You can imagine the Rascals there, Sinner and Saint, giving you that kind of high flying, high speed excitement. Then obviously you've got the Great Hands, who are just that, of course, from Order 4, Hotch and Skylar, that bring you that kind of just technical based excellence. And then the system, the wily veterans that are the system, with Myers and Edwards great at the ground game as well as a standing game. And this was brilliant. I mean, Tasha Steeles did get involved at all this for all the four, as you can imagine. Mustafa Ali's faction really still trying to feel their way in after the system reigned supreme. Bound for Glory, of course. Hot off the heels of Bound for Glory, of course. But the pace of this kind of slowed down for a bit when the good hands got involved. The good hands took advantage. Pace caused slow down. The Rascals were bringing it back as well as Sinner and Saint. But it also quickened a little bit once Eddie Edwards got in there as well. And this match was just a lot of fun. Real lot of fun. What we've become accustomed to in TNA really over these, well, definitely the last 12 to 18 months. And what more can you say about this? There was a bit on this when again where all the four took control on the Rascals as well as Sinner and Saint as well. But at the end, Myers hits the roster cut on Skylar, followed by Eddie Edwards hitting that Boston knee party to give the system the big win here. And who knows what the future holds for these for the system. They've been around for a long time now, and it'll be interesting to see if anything happens this week on TNA, the live impact ahead of Turning Point. Will be very interesting. Of course, all of this action is live on TNA Plus. Get yourself downloaded, get it subscribed in the UK and Ireland. $9.99 a month gives you the lot, gives you Impact, gives you all the other previous Impacts and all the specials like Turning Point and premium live events like Genesis in January. So ensure that you get that. And before that, Final Resolution, of course, from El Paso, Texas, and of course, Turning Point from Full Sail University, which is also where this week's live impact will be emanating from. Unfortunately, the Hitting a Turnbuckle will be taking vacation, so we will miss the live impact, but we will be back next week with the Turning Point and Impact review from following on from Turning Point. So unfortunately, just falls at the wrong time for us. But we're taking a much deserved break, if I do say so myself. Now, the Elegance brand, of course, Ash no longer been able to compete, but they're on a scouting mission. Mr. Elegance. And you can do that if you think you have what it takes. Elegance brand at tnawrestling.com. Get your videos in there. I think this is a foregone conclusion. Ash, Heather, Iceman. You're right, here is Mr. Elegant. It doesn't get more elegance than this. I'm sure it really does. But look, if you want to go for it, Elegance brand at tnawrestling.com. Get yourselves on the Elegance brand. Be a part of the Elegance brand. They are looking for Mr. Elegance. I can't wait to see some of the videos. Can't even wait to see who Mr. Elegance will be. Hometown man, maybe. Who knows? Anyway, back to the action, and Jody Fret laid down the challenge to former Spitfire tag team partner Danny Luna. They went at it one on one, and I tell you, this was personal. This showdown was personal. Danny Luna obviously turning on Jody Fret not too long ago to go her own way. And as a side note, our good friends at the I Love Wrestling podcast recently done an interview with Danny Luna. So go to the I Love Wrestling podcast and check that out. Danny, look, for all of the things that she's done wrong in TNA for turning on her partner, the one thing that I will say, Danny Luna is an exceptionally talented wrestler. And I feel that a singles run for Danny is exactly what she needs right now. And I think she will benefit. TNA will benefit from Danny Luna being a single. Danny Luna does not die, as the slogan does say. This was brilliant. A real highlight. TNA's knockouts division, and to be honest, wrestling's women's divisions in general across all companies have been absolutely fantastic. And knockouts division and the NWA women's division probably doesn't get the plaudits that it deserves. They have got some incredibly talented women within their respective companies. And Danny Luna and Jody Fret were double testament to that. There were some really good moments in this match. There was a nice top rope crossbody from Jody Fret. There was a jackhammer as well. Actually, it even went to a submission. There's a rear naked choke point into this, and then wow. I mean, one thing Danny Luna does amazingly well, some German suplexes, and Luna absolutely plowed her with one of them, and then hits the Luna landing to pick up the victory. And to be honest with you, I could see both of these in the title picture. I think they should be. Clowny Jordan's got a lot to watch out for. Come turning point, whoever that opponent may be, I don't know who that opponent's going to be. I'm looking forward to finding out this week. As I said, I know we won't necessarily be here to review it together, but I'm really looking forward to seeing who that opponent is. And you know what? That knockouts division is, I mean, she's got a target on her back as Clowny Jordan, and I'm looking forward to seeing who challenges for that championship at Turning Point and, of course, at Final Resolution. Now, we did get the TNA injury report as well. Mustafa Ali is a day-to-day after sustaining some bruising injuries in the all-out war, that hardcore war at Bound for Glory. Don't know yet. He should be okay to wrestle very, very soon. Jake, something is cleared. He got misted by Rosemary in the gauntlet at the Bound for Glory. He's fine. And Santana is cleared as well. He sustained a bit of a laceration, as you all could see when he won the championship at Bound for Glory. So he is thankfully okay and will defend and well, ready to defend that championship against who? We'll find out. And you can find out TNA Plus, like I said before, you make sure that you get it. Now, we went back to earlier this year in El Paso, Texas next. First fight, tag team street fight involving the Colognes, who have been in and out of TNA, and of course Matt and Jeff, the Hardy Boys, no longer the NXT tag team champions, but still the TNA tag team champions. And this was, well, I mean, there was steel chains involved in this. Of course, there was tables, ladders, and chairs. This is the Hardys of all, for Christ's sake. You know what they're like. They were brawling here, there, and everywhere. It was just, it was crazy, to be honest. These two tag teams. Listen, to Colognes, I hope to see him back in TNA. I've been enjoying them on NWA as well, actually, to be quite honest. They've been involved in their tag division as well. And I love this. I thought this was great. I enjoyed it. Listen, I always enjoy the Hardy Boys. They're still to this day one of the best tag teams around. The Colognes I feel like the Colognes have benefited from being released from WWE. I really have. They've gone and done a lot of things. Doc Gallows and Anderson are the same. They've gone and done some great things over even in here in the UK. But this was just nuts. Everything about this match was crazy in a good way. But of course, It wouldn't be the Hardys without a ladder and a table spot, right? And the cook Matt hits Orlando with a twist of fate, and then Jeff sent him packing through a table with a swanton bomb to finish proceedings off for the Colognes. And I listen, I could do that. I could watch that all day. It was great. We then actually went to the TNA Plus Vault, which is exactly what you could be getting for 9.99 a month. You can get this, and we saw an AJ Styles versus Bobby Roode Classic for the TNA Championship back in 2012, an Open Fight Night Classic. This is why you should be getting TNA Plus, folks. The stuff that is on there for less than 2 coffees a month. You can witness stuff like this. You can go way back to see the old school TNA. You can even see Beer Money on there, Rude and Storm, the America's Most Wanted, Jeff Jarrett, AJ Styles, of course, the Monster Abyss. See some of his classic hardcore matches as well. But we saw one here. Again, great, great match. After that, we saw an interview with Sarah Schreiber. Hope I've got that right. She interviewed the Knockout champion, Clanny Jordan. Now, NXT Gold Rush coming up. That may even be this week, actually. She takes on Jordan Grace and Lei Ying Lee for the Knockouts Championship. This is going to be a really great triple threat match, you know. I'm really looking forward to seeing that, seeing if the Lei Ying Lee, again, somebody who has really come into her own in TNA wrestling. And look, didn't get the opportunities, didn't get the time in WWE to really show what she can do. She's certainly doing that in TNA wrestling right now. She's been really exciting to watch, and she gets an opportunity along with Jordan Grace, who's no stranger to that knockouts gold. She gets an opportunity to win it again. Who knows? She may well win that, although she's now NXT. Doesn't mean to say that she'll be not competing for gold. And Clanny Jordan's going to have a fight on her hands at Gold Rush. And then obviously following that, Turning Point as well. Who will she defend it against Turning Point? All of them questions will be answered within the next week or so on TNA. But really looking forward to that. The search for Mr. Elegance begun in Edmonton, Alberta. But the Elegance brand just wasn't impressed with the level of talent that was on display for them in Edmonton. Well, as I said, Elegance brand. Look, Ash, Maggie, Heather, Iceman, right here. It's right here on the hit in the turnbuckle. We're there. We're the Elegance brand. We can do it. Me, Fiona. We could be the I could be Mr. Elegance. Fiona could be Miss Elegance. You know, she's Miss Fiona Loughran, of course. But in all seriousness, they didn't like what was going on in Edmonton, that's for certain. So they are crossed off the list. But the main event was Cedric Alexander, and he wants to prove a point and beat the best. So he challenged the best in form of the new TNA World Champion, Mike Santana. This match was built about respect. Alexander wants to respect. He wants to prove, like I said, that he can go with the best in the business. And I tell you what, he's certainly done that in this match. Cedric Alexander is an incredible, incredible talent. Somebody else who, again, didn't get the chance to shine in the WWE. But look, there's a lot. Not everyone will get that opportunity, right? And that's why you can go to a place like TNA and you can really showcase your talent. Cedric Alexander is a prime example of this. This was a main event, to be quite honest, that could have graced Bound for Glory. It really could. It could grace some of the best pay-per-view names as a singles match that you're going to get. It was tremendous. I love it. I love this. I thought this was great. You know, I did kind of gather that Santana wasn't going to lose the match because he's just won the TNA Championship. But Cedric Alexander proved in this that, you know, he can go to bed, and he didn't need to prove it. We all know that he can go with the best in the business. He just happened once again to prove that he could. Didn't get the job done. Spin the block from Santana got the job done on this occasion, but a great show of respect between the two as well, and an incredible main event from Open Fight Night from TNA Wrestling. But look, you'll be able to see TNA live this week. Cedric Alexander will be in action against Jason Hotch. We're going to get the return of Elijah. who returned obviously at Bound for Glory, but he will be back to do a concert this week. I'm gutted I'm not going to be able to bring you. I am going to be watching it on holiday in Morocco. I will be watching TNA this week. I'm gutted I won't be able to bring the review, but like I said, I'm taking a well-deserved vacation, if I do say so myself. But look, you'll get that this week on TNA Plus. You'll get Turning Point as well on TNA Plus this week. Do not forget that. Please get it downloaded, get subscribed. Over here in the UK and Ireland, take advantage of that offer, $9.99 for the TNA Plus membership. You will get everything. You'll get Turning Point. You'll get Final Resolution. You'll get Genesis in January. You'll get the access to the archives to watch some more classic open fight night action. And more importantly, you will get TNA Impact every single week, like this week, which is live. Don't forget to watch that. Don't forget to watch Turning Point. We will be back with our Turning Point review and the Impact following Turning Point this next week on the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. So make sure you check that out. Check out TNA. Enjoy TNA. Can't wait for Turning Point, everybody. Until then, though, buckle down, stay safe, and goodbye.